Hello everyone, it's Rebecca here, and today I am bringing you another review. Yes, I am getting very good at filming these reviews and actually putting them up for you, and I am getting really proud of myself now. Today's review is of Switched by Amanda Hocking. Yes, I've still got that in the back, but never mind, that's I'll tell you why later. And this book is something that I read quite quickly. I flew through it. It's got... The story itself is a little over 300 pages. It's a roughly 300-page book, and in the back there is also a novella and notes from the author, where the author does like a Q&A kind of thing. And I haven't yet read those, but I don't really think I'm going to continue on with this. I've finished the book itself. There's a little novella in the back, but I don't think I'm going to read the novella, and that is because I didn't particularly enjoy all of this book. Now, for those of you who don't know, Switched follows a girl named Wendy, whose name I completely forgot, even though I've only just finished it this morning. This follows a girl named Wendy, and Wendy's mother tries to kill her when she's 6 years old. She keeps claiming, "You are not my child, you are not my child," and tries to kill her because she thinks that Wendy has sort of done something to her actual child. And we find out that Wendy is actually a changeling, and there is this sort of community called the Trials, and the Trials are when they give birth to a child, they switch this child at birth basically with a human child, and they swap their child for a human child into a wealthy family, and they take the human child unbeknown to the actual child's parents, and they let their child be brought up by the human family instead, sort of like the host family, so to speak, and they let the child be brought up by those instead for however many years it is until they can be sort of welcomed back into the community of the Trials. Now, Wendy, usually it goes without a hitch. You know, the parents never catch on. They just they think that their child has run away or their child is moving away, blah blah blah. But when Wendy's parents, her father dies when she's young, and Wendy's mother always has this inkling that Wendy isn't her child and that Wendy's been swapped at birth. And obviously, like I mentioned before, at the age of 6, Wendy's mother tries to kill her on her birthday and gets as far as the knife is in the stomach until her brother comes out and saves her life. Now, we then find out that she's living with her brother Matt and her auntie Maggie when this boy called Finn shows up at her school and is sort of shadowing her. He's always lurking around. It's a little bit weird, and we later find out that he has been sent by her actual mother from this trial community to come and get her and bring her home. Now, this doesn't go as easily as planned because there are people called the Vitra, who are like a rival community kind of thing, who really want Wendy. And Finn has to be the sole protector of her until until he gets her back to her community. And he takes her back to the community, and she really doesn't like it, basically. And this is where my problem started, and from now on this review is going to have to change colours in bits because it's not always going to be spoiler free, unfortunately, and it's probably been a little bit spoilery before, but it's backstory, and it's kind of like important backstory kind of thing, and that happens within the first, I want to say 50 or so pages it happens in, and that it's just to set you up for the rest of the story. Now, this part, from the point of her arriving at this new community, is where I started to fall out of love with this book. I was really enjoying it until she became a spoiled brat. Basically, I understand that it's must be really difficult for her to cope with the idea of, you know, being uprooted and moved to a new community, but then to be found out that you're a princess rather than just a normal girl who struggled to fit in. I understand that that's probably really difficult for you, but there's no need to go on as if the world is out to get you. This poor boy, who she was switched with at birth, has actually been living in her mother's home, who is the queen of this trial community, and he is lovely. Both Reese, which is his name, and Finn, who is the tracker who was sent out to go get Wendy, those two characters are two characters that I really enjoy. I really enjoyed having them in the book. They brought a fresh sort of face to the book, and it showed you that it wasn't all doom and gloom in this community. However, Wendy really, really got on my nerves because she went from being sort of, you know, confused and not really understanding this world to into a spoiled brat. I don't want to be a princess, I don't want to be this, I don't want to do that, I just want to do this, I just want to do that. And she was really, really sort of frustrating to me as a reader, because I thought, if I can't connect with the main character, is there any point in me continuing this book? And then I was surprised actually, because I got to a couple of pages before the end, which is bookmarked, and I was like, oh, there's so much that could happen. Like, I was expecting another twist. I really wasn't happy with the ending. I was expecting another twist to come after this ending, until I opened it up and I turned the page and it said, turn the page for a new, never before published bonus short story. Really? Really? Why couldn't I just have the ending? Just... I am well aware this is a trilogy, but if you had have had the ending, like it said, like, you know, if you had had the ending like I previously just mentioned, then it would have set it up perfectly for the sequel. And I know the sequel's already out, and the third one in this trilogy, and I will not be continuing with this series because this has frustrated me so much. Maybe one day, I might pick it up one day if it's on offer, but I really have no intention of continuing this series because of the fact that it was left, her ending just... Spoiler alert, guys, spoiler alert. She goes home. There's this big sort of event that happens where basically shit hits the fan and she goes home. She breaks free of the trial community and leaves and goes home, and it's just, that's it, that's the end. And you're just like, why is that the end? Where is the rest of the book where they come and try and get her and take her home? Right, I'm finished with the spoilery bit for now. The reason that I actually don't want to read the novella is because of the fact that I really didn't connect as much with this book as I hoped I would. I really, really enjoyed it up until a certain point, and then it just went downhill for me and just really frustrated me. So I don't really want to continue with the book. I might read the Q&A at the back, I'm not too sure, but I also know there's another sequel. There's a sequel. The sequels are Torn and Ascend, and if they appear in the bookshop where I bought this, then maybe, just maybe, I might pick them up just out of curiosity. But right now, I have no intention of finishing this series. Overall, I gave the book 3 out of 5 stars, although it was leaning towards more of a 2.5, and that's because of the frustrating aspect of it. It started off really, really well, and then just went downhill. I gave it 3 because of the fact that there were a couple of characters in there that I really, really enjoyed and really, really sympathised with, because they only wanted the best for Wendy, and she threw it back at them, basically. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to say. I thought I would do this quick, I'm saying quick, I don't really know how long it's been filming for, but I really wanted to do this quick video just to air my thoughts, because it did frustrate me, and I do already... Oh, my word.